This is APEP, and today I'm gonna talk about moon gazing. Okay, it's my little Sprite right here again. Okay, so let's get started. There's a lot of information on sun gazing, so basically I'm just gonna get into the moon attribute, on how did it work for me, and once again I'm gonna get into techniques on that. You know, there's some things I tap into that I can't explain. There's a lot of shit I can't explain. There's a lot of shit I wish I could. I ain't gonna say wish, but or would like to tell y'all, but I just can't fucking explain it. Now, with the moon is that when you tapping into the moon, what you basically do is you stare at the moon, and when you start the moon gaze, it will uncover a lot of things in your subconscious. It might even get you addicted to things, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember looking at the moon, I had more of a tendency to go smoke some weed more, you know what I'm saying? Because that's deep in the subconscious, you know what I'm saying? But I got rid of that tendency, because you can reprogram yourself with the moon. You look into the moon and you say affirmations. Another aspect on the moon is that when you look at it, you start to have more visions. Your visions will become more vivid, especially if you're drinking a lot of water, because the moon and the water work together, and you turned out to be more emotional. Another thing is you can get this stone. It's called a selenite. Damn, I got a whole bunch of them on me. I got like 3, but got broken in half. But selenite, and what you could do is, if you're working with necromancy, the moon works well. A lot of people like using Saturn for necromancy, but personally I like using the moon for necromancy. You know, so what you do is you put the this in the moonlight. You know, you even got to charge it for that many hours, like they say you do. Like they say, oh, you got to put out for 10 to 20 hours, not 20 hours, but you know, 3 hours or whatever. I would say at least 30 minutes. At least 30 minutes, or maybe 10 if you're in an environment where people steal shit. But if so, you could also have it on you. I think, it's cloudy today. But with the moon, you can have this stone on you and look at the moon while you're outside, and this automatically will charge up the stone. You know, and the moon is very cold. If you realize that when you put in the moonlight, you realize it's cold. It's not reflecting sunlight, you know. There's the thing on the flat earth that debunked that, you know, and stuff. Y'all should look into the information. Just look up Brother Sanchez. And what the moon is, you should get a book on yokai. It's really great because you get the different aspects of ghosts, and you can write down the symbols. That's what I like about the Japanese and Chinese things. You can just write down the words on the selenite, or write down the words on yourself or whatever, and automatically you can tap in if you know your own methods and techniques on that. So with moon gazing, like I said, you become more emotional. Traumas might pop up, you know what I'm saying? Or things in the past. You could say trauma. Now, I ain't talking about extreme traumas, but that will pop up if you had something extreme, if you was molested or raped. I'm just glad that, my inner self or my soul within me that I never experienced like that, nothing like that. I never want to. But, so far as tapping into the moon, I had like suppressed anger and stuff like that. You know, I always try to hold it in. And the thing that's very interesting, it's always made me emotional, the moon, because when I look at the sun, it does the opposite. Nothing emotionally bothers me. And as I kept on learning, I figured out that the emotions that we're feeling were actually emotions from other people. So if you're working with the moon, it's best to be isolated and dealing with your spiritual work. Another thing to open up clairvoyance is to isolate yourself for a long period of time. You know, one way is I did this for a week. I'm not really proud of this because this is right after I got off from being homeless, and I end up at a house. Where my dad passed on to me, and I was sitting in the house, and I was just so focused on my spiritual work, I forgot to bathe, I forgot to do all types of shit. So it was kind of crazy. You know, I forgot about sex. My mind was like out there. It was like fucking gone. And I had the green light on, you know, and under the green light, I was just sitting under the green light, and I had my food in the room, and I had the water in the room, and I had nothing in the room, just me. And I was just sitting in that room for like a week, and I just started seeing locusts popping up. But that's just my experience, but also through the eclipse as well. But now I see them all the time, and they're just energies on the inside of you. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I'm special. They came to me. And if you want to look up more on the locusts, and if you want to learn how to see them, basically get a book called Dragon of the Two Flames, and it tells you what they are. It is a group of spirits called the Akum, you know, and it's by Michael W. Ford. It's a red book with a dragon with two snakes. He once in a while he changes the cover. You know what I'm saying? It's very interesting, and I like the works that he do, because he could find things that other people can't find. Like I can find things that other people can't find. Like this is a alphabet right here of the Grand Canyon. You know, I've been to the pyramids of the Grand Canyon in Arizona, and that stuff really opened you up. When I went there, it was like a very cleansing and grounding. I felt more grounded and more cleansed in my life than ever, you know, and it's very interesting. But before you get into this work, I would just say get a selenite, carry like 2 or 3. If it breaks, carry the pieces. You know what I'm saying? You have more than one piece, put it in different pockets. And what it does is your intuitions opens up, and you just gotta learn how to use it. One way is I visualize white around me, and a lot of times it just come to me natural. You know, so if you want to open up the clairvoyance on that technique, bathe. It's best to bathe. You know what I'm saying? And I started doing it. I ain't started doing it. I've been started doing it. I just realized that, oh shit, it came to me because my hair started itching. I said, well, I'm itchy. I was like, oh shit, I forgot to bathe. Then I was like, oh shit, I forgot about sex. I forgot about every goddamn thing. I was so stuck in the room, I forgot, you know. And my uncle kind of reminded me, because he knocked on the door. He said, do you ever get out of that room? I was like, dang. He's like, you kind of right. You know what I'm saying? Do I ever get out the room? But so far as moon gazing, let's get back on the moon gazing. I will put out the Grand Canyon alphabets that I decoded. They took the video down. I looked into it, and I actually wrote it down. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know what it means, so I just write it down, and my subconscious does something every time I write it on me or writing on something. And I just have to get a journal and just write it down and find out what the symbols do. You know, I would like to find a Kemetic priest to see if they can interpret this. You know, it's some type of medu neter, but it's different from the one that they have on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Or what people are teaching. It's like some type of medu neter. And I went to the Grand Canyon, the sign said 2 billion years old. You know, some people said 5 billion, but when I went there, I'm only going by what I seen with my eyes. It said 2 billion. You know, it might not be as old, it might be as old. I honestly, the Grand Canyon is probably the oldest pyramid that I found so far. You know, even older than the ones in Egypt. You know, and those mounds are also pyramids too that you see in Texas. So if you want to go to a sighting and you don't want to pay $14,000 like going to Egypt, or $2,000 to go to the Grand Canyon or all this other stuff, what you can do is just go to the mountains. You just go straight to the mountains in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California, and you're right there. You know what I'm saying? The burial mounds. And remember, the energy is not what's outside of you, it's what's in you. So back on the moon gazing. A spirit you can work with is called the Nu Gui or the Anryu. That works well with necromancy. And if you find animal bones, if you find dead animals or whatever, wear some gloves. You know, me, I'm a risk taker. I just grab the shit and just take the bones out of their ass. And if they're dead, and you can use that as necromancy. You can use that. So, and make your own rituals. So, with the moon gazing, it opens up the pineal gland. It stimulates the melanin. It makes a person more. It'll make you more emotional, and your intuition kicks in. Like the ideas come in. They come in. Like the doubt just leaves. You know what I'm saying? But the only problem is the negative thoughts that pop up once in a while. You know. But sometimes those negative thoughts are correct too, because you know, you got people that will betray you and all this other stuff, and the negative thoughts were right. They were like, man, don't trust that motherfucker. I was like, man, just me being negative. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, man, I was right the whole fucking time. You know, so positivity and negativity both has its purpose. It's just that getting stuck on one side or the other, it can make you delusional. You know what I'm saying? Too much negativity could destroy the body, fuck you up, and you can end up catching disease or die or some shit, you know what I'm saying? And too much positivity can make you delusional, you know what I'm saying? Like there's people that don't believe that the government is corrupt, you know what I'm saying? And that's positive thinking, but it's delusional, you know what I'm saying? That's why you got that middle point. So with the selenite and the moon gazing, you can put your statues and stuff like that, put that out in the moon, watch. It's going to come up more clear. Your channels are going to become stronger. They're going to become a lot stronger. And if it doesn't, well, I guess it didn't work for you. And well, I have more things on moon gazing. I just got to let it come back to me. Oh, and another aspect of moon gazing is if you smoke weed, you know, I stopped that shit now. But if you smoke weed and you look at the moon, you'll get higher. You know, and smoking in cold weather gets me higher. You know what I'm saying? When I used to smoke. You know, I normally like to smoke like probably like in the spring or whatever. You know, but now I'm in South Carolina, so I can't do that shit no more. You know, California, you could do that shit all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? California, they don't really care. You know, I like the West Coast. But back to where I was. So the moon, it helps you have visions. It will strengthen your psychic abilities. When you meditate, your vision's gonna become more vivid. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to say Om and all that. You can just close your eyes and just imagine some shit like you doing the coloring book, and watch some shit's gonna pop up like bam. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna pop up like bam. That's one way you could do it, or you could just keep staring into the blackness and images will pop up. So that's on moon gazing, and I guess I will tell y'all more on moon gazing, because I feel like there's some more things I forgot to tell y'all, but that's just how it is. Another thing is working with tobacco. If you want to work with shadow people, this right here, tobacco works well with that. It's great for necromancy, and it could take you to a trance in a meditative state. You know, and another thing with the moon is if you want to build more sexual energy, look at the moon. It's very interesting when you work with the sexual energy and do that. And I'll say at least drink 3 jugs of water if you want to open up the clairvoyance and look at the moon. And if it doesn't work for you, I will advise you to find another method. I also want to give you some more channels, because I don't want any followers. I don't want people following me. I just telling y'all methods y'all can do. And another method is, I already told y'all that, didn't I? Well, no, I already told y'all the violet hag. So another method is get a hag necklace and put it in the moon. And if you get a blue light with a purple light, you'll get a black light and a blue light, and it will make it kind of royal bluish. And you get some alcohol, you don't have to build a hag altar, but just put up a hag altar. Use a shelf or something, and just mix some gin with some rum and lay on your spine, and you're able to contact it. You have sleep paralysis. I never had anything horrible happen to me. People say, "Oh man, the hag," and I was hurting. That shit was tickled. It was sitting on my stomach. They didn't even sit on my chest. So I don't know how other people get it, but until then, I guess I'll see y'all because I'm running out of time. So.